Smith really impressed today. What have you seen out of him and his development so far over the last few days?
Shy has really good ball skills. Shy can do multiple things for us. Shy's got to stay healthy and stay on the field. That's his biggest issue has been, a groin here, a hamstring there, all those things. But if Shy can stay healthy, he has a chance to compete to make the roster and be active on game day and make plays. So it's just him having the same process and plan that the McCaffreys and DJs and Robbies and those guys have to stay healthy.
What another way we read in the fact that it looked like Icky was starting off with first team today. We haven't seen that as much.
We're going to be more aggressive, giving him some reps, and just continuing to move the lineups around a little bit. We kind of in the first phase of everyone's kind of learned everything now. I don't think you can evaluate guys when you have Brian Burns out there going against one guy. We want to make sure multiple guys get reps against Brian and Yetur and all those guys. So we're just going to continue to roll guys. We also kind of moved to a little bit longer periods today in terms of amount of reps in a row as we build our conditioning. So less subbing, more. It's how do we play when we're tired?
How did the quarterbacks do today, Matt, in that scrimmage particularly?
That was 2 minutes at the end, and it wasn't. We didn't move the football on offense. It always comes down to little things like, the first play we're throwing a swing screen just to kind of get the thing started. We don't throw and catch it. We turn the ball over on one. So a lot of work to do for us. It's been a point of emphasis, obviously 2 minute offense and defense, and that was a period today I would have liked to see more from the offense. And so who exactly what, I'll have to watch the tape, but there wasn't the production that we need.
Have you all discussed yet how you'll be handling the first preseason game?
Yeah, we've had initial discussions, but nothing worth saying yet. I haven't addressed it with the team yet. I'm really wanting them to focus on these last 3 days here and be locked into that. But as we get to Wednesday, we'll start to talk to the team about what we're going to do Saturday.
Matt, 2 weeks in, are you seeing any separation from either of the quarterbacks in that battle yet?
I know that one quarterback's played better than the other quarterback one day, and then there's been some other things the next day. So we see it kind of day by day, but both guys are competitors, are fighting back. So I wouldn't say necessarily that have made an evaluation of that. But there's certainly been days where we can point to one guy and say, but I think it's been back and forth. I think both guys are battling pretty well.
Matt, there was a national report, or maybe regional, that you guys were shopping Sam. Can you address that?
Yeah, that was obviously mentioned to me. I haven't had any of those conversations. So, we're in the middle of a quarterback battle. I assume along with quarterback battles, things like that are going to be said, but there's nothing that's been said to me by Scott or anybody that we're in that.
Anything can change between now and week one. Is your anticipation having both of those guys and maybe 3 quarterbacks on the roster?
I think we've walked into this season thinking that we would have 3 quarterbacks on the roster, knowing that anything can change. We're always going to do what's right for the team, and winning comes first. But I think we've said to ourselves, hey, we'll probably have 3 quarterbacks on the team. As I said to you, of the 32 NFL teams, 12 played 1 quarterback last year for all 17 regular season games. So I think the average over the last 5 years is 41%. So as much as we're concerned about the starting quarterback battle, don't get me wrong, I'm looking at the 2, and then on Wednesday the 3s will get a lot of reps. Just really looking for those guys to play well as well. So we're anticipating, I believe, 3.
Have you seen Baker take any kind of jump as he's gotten more and more of the offense under his belt?
I think he's definitely improving. I shouldn't say I think. He's definitely improving. He gets more and more of a feel for what he can do at the line of scrimmage, and so those things are, he's making, what he's done in 10 days is pretty impressive, or 10 practices, 11 practices, so he's making really good jumps.
So is there a focus on run today by
Today we had, today was focused really on everything. We had a 2 minute period. We had a trade, a 2-field run period that the defense tackled live to the ground, so it's our first live exposure, so we can see where our tackling is. We had and then we had 2 periods versus a specific defensive structure, one all-up blitzes, and then one certain coverage that we play, and ask the offense to attack it so that, our offense knows how to beat those things, and then our defense gets exposed. So I think we just tried to really attack a couple different areas today.
Matt, last time we talked to you, you said the coach had a lot of work to do over the next few days watching, I guess, on the Saturday scrimmage and whatnot. Anything new you learned about Baker Mayfield after watching him in that scrimmage setting?
Just probably what I just said, Ellis, that he's come a long way, and that the mental part of it, Ben gives those guys a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage, and I think you saw him make a lot of good checks at the line of scrimmage. We still have to protect the ball better, and certainly in 2 minute we have to be better, as I talked about earlier, because we have not yet gotten to that level on offense. But I think I know the ability to make those plays at the line of scrimmage. I think he's got really good command of that.
And then what about the offensive and defensive line? So you evaluate that all week in the scrimmage to see where you guys are in the transition.
Yeah, I like our offensive line. I like where they're coming. They got a little demeanor about themselves. There's good competition still at a lot of positions. I like that group. And then the defensive line, obviously Marquise the other day, my heart was in my throat just for him. But he's a key factor with what we're going to do. So to have him be back is great. And I think the biggest thing with the defensive line is just them taking the next step, pass rushing with a 4-man rush. In the 2 minutes, Phil not always having to blitz. Let's get to the quarterback when we're tired.
It sounds like you're not ready to declare a starter for the first preseason game, but can you say how many quarterbacks you expect will play?
Yeah, I think we'll probably play maybe 3, maybe 4. If we play like Sam and Baker, we're playing them both. So we wouldn't play one or the other. So, we would play them both. And then, I really want Matt and PJ to get in there. They're not getting a ton of these reps, but late in the game, those guys deserve a chance to play.
Is there said you plan to go into the season with 3 quarterbacks, including Sam and Baker in that?
Yeah, unless something happens to one of them, unless one of them gets banged up. I think when we traded for Baker and we had already drafted Matt and we have PJ, who we really like, we knew, hey, this will be a year. We probably will carry 3 quarterbacks. So that's the plan. That's been the plan all along. This plan as I sit here now. So that's what we thought. But we'll see what happens.
Matt, how do you kind of balance letting this competition play out and giving whoever's going to win it enough reps with the first team for rhythm, timing, etc.?
Yeah, I think that's really important that they have those moments. So as I said, when we know, we know. At the same time, I don't want to start one guy then realize, hey, after 2 games we made the wrong decision and go back to the other guy. I think that's more important. And the reality in the NFL is a lot of those guys are on the 2nd and 3rd team. They're going to be playing for us in November, December, and January. It just happens to every team, as they have the injuries. So right now, I'm finding out a lot about the quarterbacks. One time, they're playing with the 1. Sometimes things are a little cleaner. They're also going against a, better defense. And they go against the 2s. Sometimes things might not be as clean with a rookie receiver, but there's a part of this deal is you got to figure it out and make it work. And so you're seeing all those things from the guys. So, like I said, we've always said, hey, when we know, we know. I think the most important thing, Joe, is finding the right guy, and then after that, everything else is gravy.
Back to the D-line, unfortunately, Keith isn't long-term, but are there any talks of bringing in a veteran just to add some depth at end?
We've said all along that if the right guys are available, we'll look at them. So my job right now is to try to coach the guys that we have, try to bring along the Amari Barnos, the Marquand McCalls on the D-line, the young players, the guys in their 2nd and 3rd year, the Davion Nixons. That last year's draft class has to produce for us this year. Last year they were rookies, now they're not. So it's really my job. But Scott, Dan, Pat, those guys they're always looking out to see who else is out there. And as trades come up, as things happen, I'm sure they'll always explore that. But right now, we have the group that we have. We have a lot of talent in that group, and I'm trying to make sure that we give them a chance for those guys to develop.
We'll do a couple more. When will you start thinking about Washington?
Oh, we're already thinking about it. Coaches worked on the game plans. Just in terms of the team, I don't want the team thinking about it till we're done on Wednesday. It's really important that we maximize the time that we're here. As a coach, in today's world, I'm in a constant fight to make sure that the guys are in the moment and not looking backwards and not looking forward. So, my challenge for them right now is just, hey, let's be great in these meetings today. So, we have Fan Fest ahead. That'll be exciting to be around the fans and in the stadium. The game will be great, but as a coaching staff, we're definitely on it. But the players, I just don't want to say anything to the media I haven't said to the players. I hope you guys get that.
Frankie seems like he's been around the ball a lot in training camp, and even last year he was limited reps. So what do you think he can do in a more expanded role this year? Can he be that active?
Yeah, Frankie Louvu is the standard for the way that we want to play defense. He runs the football. He plays hard. He plays physical. And one thing about him, and this is just him, he's never a victim. Nothing ever happened to him. It's never like, he attacks every practice every day like it's a blessing. It's infectious. I'm not a morning person. I don't like to talk to anybody till 9. And you see Frankie, it's he walks by, he calls everybody brother, calls everybody oos, and he means it. And he uplifts this entire team from every position and staff. And so to have that kind of character and personality, but also to play that way on the field, I mean, you know, it's really easy. You watch the tape. You're not running the ball, and he's running the ball. It's kind of, hey, that's the standard. So he's really, really valuable. I really like our linebacker group. We have a lot of guys that, I mean, I really like Corey Littleton, what he's done so far in camp. Damien's going to be a really good run defending linebacker, and has got natural instincts in coverage. Can't wait to get Shaq back. And, you know, Frankie said just another piece of that really nice room.
Did you see a lot of that on tape before you guys brought him in, that effective center team just kept running the ball?
We just love the way he played, you know, and running the ball is part of it, but just how hard he plays at the point of attack. Like, he's always initiating contact. So he's one of those guys, when we signed him, you know, we thought we found somebody that, you know, maybe we thought we saw something that maybe other people didn't, and we felt that way. And, you know, the chance to re-sign him, I think he's going to be a guy that makes a lot of plays for us.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.